Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's your host of the Morning Beer Podcast, Devin Davis. And today's video is going to be the NFL Draft, a mock draft. This is my first mock draft this year. It's pretty much a post-Super Bowl / pre-combine NFL mock draft 2022 part 1. So we're only doing from pick number 1 to pick 16. So it's only going to be half of the 32 picks in the first round. The reason why I'm doing it this way is just so the video is not too long, not too dragged out. I'm going to elaborate a little bit more about the picks and why I made this picks for each team in particular. And also a little bit, just so you could digest that, and then we go into the second half of the draft. So unfortunately, sorry if your team is not involved in the first 16 picks, it might be a little bit rough. Mind you, this first mock draft I'm doing, no trades at all. We got the dogs in the background, which is my co-host. And Bree, the female dog, is barking at nothing outside. She just want to be in the video. She always likes to come in the video, especially when I'm recording. So anyway, let's get to this. Let's get to it real quick. So as you know, right now on the clock, number 1 is Jacksonville. Jacksonville is picking again for the first time, picking number 1 again, back-to-back seasons. First time this happened since I think Cleveland Browns did this like a few years back. So quite obviously last year their first pick was Trevor Lawrence, their quarterback. Excuse me, got wet the palate. Was the quarterback, their franchise quarterback. And they did everything in their anything possible to ruin this guy's first year in the NFL by selecting Urban Meyer to be his coach, not giving him enough protection around him to keep him upright so he could be a productive quarterback the whole year. So, in my opinion, what they're going to do with the first pick is quite obvious. They're not going to necessarily go defense. They already got a dominant pass rush in Josh Allen already. It would be nice to pair him up with Aidan Hutchinson because I think he's probably the more alpha of the two defensive ends, the two edge rushers on the in the top of the draft, which is KT and Aidan. But I think they're gonna go. Jacksonville's gonna go offensive line. Now, in my opinion, Ike Ekwonu might be the meanest offensive lineman out there. But the best overall is definitely going to be Evan Neal. Probably he's more of a franchise tackle compared to Ekwonu. Ekwonu's career might be an All-Pro. I don't think he warrants the first pick overall in the draft. Ekwonu, I think that's a lot of people just trying to build up some hype and make a hype train. But he's not a number 1 overall pick. He's not clear cut on the run. He's doesn't necessarily have. You could slide him as left tackle. My team, the Giants, might slide him in as a right tackle because we already have Andrew Thomas. Jacksonville already have Cam Robinson. They might re-sign him. Might have to slide him in a right tackle, which he's not really a right tackle, but he could play any of the 2 guard positions. So because this guy is not just a clear-cut left tackle, I don't think Ike Ekwonu warrants the first overall pick. So my first overall pick for the Jacksonville Jaguars is going to be Evan Neal. With this draft, too, I'm going to be doing the mock draft. I'm going to also show you who I potentially think they could have picked another option besides just the person they ended up picking. So Jacksonville is definitely going to go Evan Neal, first pick overall. Who I think they're going to pick, if they wasn't going to pick Evan Neal, I'm not going to say Ekwonu. I'm going to say Aidan Hutchinson. If they want to just pair him up with Josh Allen, I think that's a great pairing right there. So we're going to go to number 2 now, Detroit, who was looking like he was going to have the first pick all year long. And this one is as simple and as clear-cut as it can be. They're going to go with Aidan Hutchinson, defensive end. I'm not even going to beat around the bush with this one. They're going to shore up that defense. They're going to put him there. He's going to be a defensive stalwart for the next 8 to 10 years. And pretty much he's going to be there in Detroit because he's played for Michigan in college. So it's only right that he's just going to go back and just play for play for Detroit Lions, even though he said he wasn't really too keen about doing it, but he's definitely a Dan Campbell type player. If they wasn't to select Hutchinson, my honorable mention, my second choice, and I'm actually going to have two here. Kayvon Thibodeaux, if they really fall in love with him, that's over Hutchinson. That's definitely a possibility. Or they could even go quarterback if they fell in love with Malik Willis. He could be their second. He could be their second option if they chose not to go with Aidan Hutchinson. So I gave you two there instead of just one. So now this is when the draft really begins, because we already have Neal and Hutchinson penciled down as the two potential picks. Now it's Houston. So once again, I didn't do trades in this one, but if I was to say a trade could possibly happen, it could possibly happen here. All right, Houston selected Lovie Smith to be their coach, a defensive-minded coach, right? They got Davis Mills at quarterback. Now, Davis Mills has been serviceable for this past season, and I think they could pretty much protect him. They can go O-line, but once again, it's Lovie Smith, and he's a defensive-minded coach. So a defensive stud falls down to his lap. And I believe this is where a lot of people like to get fancy, like to throw in the Kyle Hamiltons, Ekwonu. They like to throw in other players, but this is about my belief. Occam's razor. Occam's razor means if you're stuck between two choices, the clear-cut choice is always the choice you go with. That's probably like not the direct definition, but this is how I'm using it. This is how I'm going to phrase it. They're going to go with Kayvon Thibodeaux. Everybody's talking about Hamilton. Everybody's talking about this and that right there. No. Kayvon Thibodeaux is who they're going with. He's not falling down to 5. It is a pipe dream. I really wish he could fall down to my guys, but he's going to go to the Houston Texans at number 3 overall, defensive end. If they was to choose somebody else, yes, I do believe if they was to choose somebody else besides KT and it's not Hutchinson and not Neal there, they would probably go with Kyle Hamilton. Moving on to number 4, the Jets. The Jets now, they don't have the luxury of having a KT there or Neal, but they do have two choices, right? Once again, they have a defensive coach. The same problem, same thing that Houston has. They have not problem. Same thing that Houston has. They have a defensive-minded coach. Now, that doesn't automatically mean they're gonna go defense. However, they went offense all the last 2 years as the first pick. They went with Becton the year before to shore up their offensive line. They went with their franchise quarterback in Wilson. All right, so they did it the right way. They're protecting their quarterback now. All right, they have the pieces in place to protect him. All right, Becton's been a little bit hurt, but they also got Fant on the other side. They also got Tucker, who I love. I was hoping the Giants could have selected him last year in the interior, right? So I don't think they necessarily need to go offensive line like a lot of people has been sliding them to go. I do think they will go with the Swiss Army knife, Isaiah Simmons 2.0 in Kyle Hamilton. All right, I think they're gonna go safety in Kyle Hamilton because they're losing. May is gonna be leaving their safety. And they lost Jamal Adams a few years ago. So with that, they're gonna go Kyle Hamilton. Because they have a hole in the secondary. They definitely have a hole in the safety position. So Kyle Hamilton, I think, is who they're going to slot in there. With Kyle Hamilton there, I think if they had another choice, I don't think Neal and Thibodeaux is on the board, but if they think they had another choice, they might have went Ekwonu because he's just that good of a player that they might just want to select him because he might be number 1 on their board. But no, they're going to go with Hamilton, in my opinion. So right now, we already have Jacksonville with Neal, Detroit with Hutchinson, Houston with Thibodeaux, and New York Jets with Kyle Hamilton. On to my New York Giants. We're on the clock right now. So, New York Giants, offensive line, offensive line, offensive line. That's all we need, okay? So I'm not even going to beat around the bush. We're running up to the stage right now. We're getting Ekwonu. We're going to play him either at left or right tackle and maybe move over Thomas to right tackle and put Ekwonu on left. We have to protect and keep Daniel Jones upright and keep him on the field. The best ability is availability, and Daniel Jones wasn't available last year. So I see us selecting Ekwonu. If we was to select somebody else, I see it being, I'll throw out a few names. Neal if he fell, which I don't think he would have, and Thibodeaux if he fell, definitely would have ran up there and probably took him over Ekwonu. I don't think we would have took Hamilton over Ekwonu. I think we definitely going with Ekwonu. If Hamilton was available, we might have tried to wait for him in the 7th pick. All right, moving on to Carolina now. All right, so Carolina is a mixed bag in a sense because Carolina needs a quarterback. Carolina needs an offensive line. But how do you build a team? You don't put a quarterback out there and let him get beat up and then build a line around him. You build a line first. I would hope so. I would hope that's the way you actually build a team. But you build a line first. So my thing is, rules on the hot seat. Quarterback number 1 for a lot of teams now is Malik Willis. But he's not going to be able to play this year. So how is that going to save Rule's job? There's no way possible that Malik Willis could save his job. This is more of a project. Not a project, but more of a long-term solution to their quarterback problem. Right now in their roster is Newton and Sam Darnold, which is not franchise quality quarterbacks. But what they did, they fired their offensive coordinator and Joe Brady, and then it looked like they're gonna give Darnold another chance with Ben McAdoo. Ben McAdoo as their offensive coordinator, and all Giants fans know how we feel about Ben McAdoo. So I don't think they're necessarily going to go the Malik Willis route, even though I feel that's the second option. But the first option is that they're going to build that line. So I've seen them going with Cross, offensive tackle from Mississippi State, and have Willis as their second option. If they wanted to play a quarterback, get a quarterback now and play him right away day one, I think they would select Kenny Pickett. But I don't think they like Pickett enough to take him over Cross. So I see him going with Cross as the 6th overall pick. Back to number 7, the Giants. Back to the Giants at number 7. Now, in my opinion, this guy at the Senior Bowl slotted himself up in the top 10, in my opinion. And it's a crime if the Giants don't take him at number 7, and if he falls past the Giants past number 7. This is just my opinion. But this guy boosted himself all the way up. So, as a Giants fan, I'm looking at what we brought over as a GM. We brought over Joe Shane, and we brought over Dable, all right? I'm looking at Shane's draft history, right? He drafts defensive ends. If you look at Buffalo and the way their roster is constructed. Defensive end, defensive tackle. He builds up the interior. So right now, we got Ekwonu now in the first round, right? With the 5th overall pick. My consensus pick before was to go offensive line with 5 and 7. However, I changed that because now we brought in Wink Martindale. So we need players for his system that fit his scheme and his system. So I'm looking at what Shane used to draft, right? He liked a lot of these defensive ends that could just bend the corner, right? And this guy proved in the Senior Bowl that he could bend the corner. And if he falls past us at number 7, Florida State's Jermaine Johnson should be our 7th overall pick. And I believe the Giants will go with Jermaine Johnson, defensive end from Florida State with the 7th overall pick. Now, if we was to pick something else, we could go a lot of different directions, all right? We could go to Dean, we could go to Lloyd, but I don't think linebackers value that much, that high, right? I think there's some studs you can get in the 2nd and 3rd round. So I wouldn't say they'll jump for that. But there is some cornerbacks that I like, and I like Sauce Gardner if it wasn't to get Jermaine Johnson and Tyler Lindenbaum, but I don't think we're gonna go that route. I think we're not gonna reach. He's all about positional value, and those guys do not have positional value. With the corner, with the center, I could see us going cornerback Sauce Gardner if we don't go, to put in Wink Martindale's scheme. I'm sorry, I'm talking about the Giants a lot, but this is what It is. So moving on to number 8 now, we have Atlanta. Atlanta was last in sacks last year, right? No pressure on the quarterback, on the quarterback, on the opposing quarterback. But my thing is, Calvin Ridley is a mystery right now. Is he going to play next year? Do you want to put somebody next to Pitts so Pitts could come off and not be double coverage all the time? Do you have a solution for that? I'm leaning more towards a wide receiver here, and the wide receiver I was thinking about was Trey Burks from Arkansas, because he's Deebo Samuel's 2.0. However, they just can't get to the quarterback, so I'm just gonna say David Ojabo. Keep it real nice and simple. I thought about cornerback here too, and Derek Stingley with his skill set and his talent falling to number 8 as being a potential, but they have to go and get the quarterback. So I'm going to see David Ojabo here. Great fit at number 8. Honorable mention, if they don't take Ojabo, I see Burks slotting in there, putting him next to Pitts, and that's just going to be nasty. And to me, a lot of people say he's Deebo Samuel's 2.0. He's more of a DJ Metcalf, in my opinion. A little bit slower, but like more of a DJ Metcalf, in my opinion. Number 9 now. So I like this one. This one right here depends on a lot of different things. Now, if Mr. Rogers' neighborhood relocates to Denver, then this doesn't apply. But if it doesn't, then this fully applies and should be the route that they go. So let's look at the the AFC West. AFC West has right now 2 of the top 5 youngest quarterbacks, best youngest quarterbacks in the game right now, in Pat Mahomes and Justin Herbert, right? You also have Derek Carr there, and then after that, Denver has Teddy Bridgewater. Who else they have? They have no one. So they have no one for the future, right? Derek Carr is not necessarily a future quarterback no more. He's in his 30s, so he's about to be, tailing towards his way out. So number 9, in my opinion, keeping up with the Joneses, you need your own young quarterback of the future. And the best quarterback in this draft, as far as quarterback number 1 now, I had Kenny Pickett before, but now Malik Willis just separated himself from the pack. And with that, he's going to be a quarterback of the future that could be on the same trajectory with Mahomes and Herbert and keep Denver relevant against those teams, because these teams are going to be powerhouses for the next few years because of their quarterback position and their quarterback play, especially if they build around them correctly. So Denver has to keep up with the Joneses. So I feel if they don't get Rodgers, if they don't get Garoppolo, if they don't get one of these available quarterbacks, Russell Wilson or whoever like this, I can see them going the Malik Willis route and put him as their quarterback of the future. He's not going to play this year. I think he's going to sit behind Bridgewater or whoever, and get his his reps in that way. And then Malik Willis would definitely eventually be on that field and be the playmaker that they need. Okay? So moving on to number 10, back to the Jets again. So, I had when I first wrote this mock draft, I had this mapped out a little bit differently. I had Willis going a little bit earlier. And I had the Jets going to Carolina. And I had Cross falling all the way down to here, number 10 in the Jets, and I think that would have been perfect for them. But something tells me that they went offense for the last few years, right? Now they got 2 first-round picks in the top 10. Something tells me that Saleh, and he came from Seattle. I think he was there when Legion of Boom was popping. Right? So he already got, with the 4th pick overall, Kyle Hamilton, right? So he got his Cam Chandler there, right? They could go the edge route and get a Kalaftis, who I feel would play well across from Lawson on the other side. But I do see them going Legion of Boom route. Or even if Saleh wasn't there, I should have done my research on that if he was there. But I think he was on that coaching staff and then came over to San Francisco, or I could be incorrect. He was just in San Francisco the whole time. Any which way, he witnessed Legion of Boom 2 times a year, sometimes 3 when they met in the playoffs sometimes, and he knows what that type of secondary could do for a team, right? So he already have his Cam Chandler in Kyle Hamilton, right? Why don't he go get his Richard Sherman and Derek Stingley? I feel Derek Stingley at number 10, and a lot of people had him marked to the Jets in Houston at 3 and 4 early in this draft process, in this mock draft process. Why don't we go ahead, Jets, pair up Stingley, and even if you don't want Stingley, you go Sauce Gardner, right? But I have him going Stingley, right? With Kyle Hamilton, have him go Hamilton 4, Stingley 10. And just that secondary's on lockdown because they do need a cornerback also along with a safety. So there you go. And then they have an early second-round pick if they want to go O-line. That's fine because this is a deep O-line draft. And I think that's the route they're going to go, and that's the best route they should go. All right. Going to number 11, need I say more? Oh, sorry. My second pick for the Jets, if they wasn't to go Stingley, would have been Gardner or Kalaftis, by the way. Okay. Number 11, Washington Commanders, okay? Washington Commanders is going to go quarterback, and quite frankly, it's just going to be Kenny Pickett. If it's not Kenny Pickett, I think they want a player that they can play now, even though there's Hinkley or whatever his name is. Sorry, Heineke. I'm a little thirsty. Let me get some more drinks. All right. Even though there's Heineke there, I think they want a quarterback that they could. Now, if Malik Willis is still here and Kenny Pickett is still here, I think they might. I'm 60% sure they're going to go Malik Willis, right? But he's not going to be there. So I'm going to say Kenny Pickett. And for them, the second pick would have been Willis. They just need a quarterback. Or even Matt Corral. I'm not high on Corral like a lot of people is. They want to have him in quarterback 1. To me, it's clear cut. It's Pickett and Willis. Pickett has small hands. However, the gloves work for him. He's played in that type of weather in Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh, Washington weather is almost the same. Maybe Pittsburgh's a little bit rougher. So I could see them going Kenny Pickett with that 11 overall pick. Number 12, clear cut 2. You need to go secondary. You need to go cornerback. I see Sauce Gardner falling in here. I love Sauce Gardner a lot. I would consider him a lot at 7th overall pick for the Giants. But Sauce Gardner, his range is between 7 and 12 in my opinion. Jets could also fall in that. Atlanta could fall into that. So I could see Sauce going there over Stingley. I think they might like his play over Stingley. If Stingley don't go 10, I could see I could even see Minnesota, Cleveland's an option. He could fall a little bit deeper. Might fall in the Philly range. Okay. So Sauce Gardner number 12. Number 13 for Cleveland, they need wide receiver help. They lost Beckham. Beckham went and won the Super Bowl 2 days ago, and okay, there's that. I'm not really the biggest Beckham fan, but moving on. Congrats, I guess it should be said. They're going to cut Landry. Beckham's best friend. They're gonna get rid of him too, so they really have nobody to give Baker Mayfield get the ball down the field. They only have their running backs and Chubb and Kareem Hunt. So with that, I do see them going wide receiver. I was thinking more in the lines of a speedster. If this guy wasn't hurt, the guy from Alabama, if Williams wasn't hurt, he would slide in here perfectly if he didn't go to Atlanta, right? But he's hurt. I see them going Garrett Wilson. He's not necessarily my wide receiver number 1. I have Trey Burks, and I still consider Williams above these guys. But I see him going Garrett Wilson, a little bit safer, a little bit more polished, a little bit more ready to play right now today. Route runner, separation, not a burner, surer hands. So I could see him going to Garrett Wilson route. I thought about him for the Jets too because the Jets could have gone wide receiver number 10. So I have Garrett Wilson going there. If they wasn't to get Garrett Wilson, it would have been Burks or Williams, or even the secondary route or a cornerback. Now Baltimore offensive line is what they need. A lot of people sliding in Trevor Pennington right here. Not really thinking that Trevor Pennington is better than this guy that they're about to take. In my opinion, I think Trevor Pennington, a lot of people consider him more of a project, but I see him not having the value at this pick. All right, I think he's a little bit lower in the draft. If they don't go Tyler Linderbaum in the interior center, I could see them going Keon Green. I think Keon Green is better than Trevor Pennington. But I do see them going with the stalwart. He's going to be there for the next decade, and Tyler Linderbaum at center. And I don't think that's high for him. I think this is pretty much his way he needs to go mid-first round. Okay? Now, we're going to do 2 more picks, and we're going to call it a wrap for today. This is going to be part 1. We're going to do the part. We're going to do the Philly got 3 picks coming up in the next few picks, but we're going to do their first 2 picks. And I just want to talk about Philly's draft because, man, I wish I was a GM for that draft, man, because they about to have the most lit defense I've ever seen. They about to have that. If they hit on these 3 picks that I'm about to make, if they hit, they about to have the most lit defense I've ever seen. I'm gonna give you a sneak peek of what I think their 3rd pick is gonna be because we're only doing the first 2 for them, the 15 and 16. 15, I believe they're definitely going linebacker. Is an option between 2. You already know who the 2 are. Is between Devin Lloyd and Nakobe Dean. I definitely think it's going to be Devin Lloyd because his measurements are going to, and his speed, his athleticism is going to outweigh what they believe Nakobe Dean's ceiling could be. All right? Devin Lloyd is a beast. Nakobe Dean is a beast too. It's a great debate. The only thing is, the only part of Nakobe that people don't like is his height. But Devin Lloyd, man, is a ball hawk too. That's the amazing thing. He had a lot of interceptions this year. I see him he's always after that ball. Nakobe Dean has some interceptions too, but I think Lloyd's reach, his ability to tip balls and stuff like that, definitely get him over that hump. So I'm thinking they're going to go Devin Lloyd, but the 15 pick is already quite obvious who I'm leaning towards on that one. I think he is the linebacker 1. I thought about Dean for the Giants too. I thought about Dean a little bit earlier, but something about this guy Lloyd, man. I was watching his tape last night, and Lloyd's definitely going to be that dude. He's definitely going to be crazy. Now, this is even more scarier, right? Because they got the 16th pick, right? If they want to get crazy and had the greatest linebacking core ever, this is a possibility, but it's not, more than likely might not happen. They could go Nakobe Dean too at 16, go Lloyd and Dean, and then that's their inside linebacking core is going to be stupid. It's going to be phenomenal. It's going to be run stopping and tight end clogging up. It's going to be phenomenal. You could rush one, drop one back, rush one, have one as a spy. It's going to be phenomenal if you want to do it that way. If Philly wants to do it that way, Philly has the ability to knock this draft out the park, hit a home run with this. If they go Lloyd and Dean 15 and 16. But that's a sexy pick. But the smart pick, the smart pick in the room will be to go number 16, go Kalaftis. Get your pass rusher in there. Now, like I said, you could go Dean and Lloyd, rush one, drop back one, or rush the 2 of them, and then the quarterback is just done, right? But they're going to, and I'm scared because I'm a Giants fan, and I feel Philly is smart enough. They could go Lloyd 15, Kalaftis 16. They have a later pick, I think number 19. And that one, I think they could definitely go secondary, maybe a McDuffie or Andrew Boot, or even if Elam slots in high enough at cornerback. And there's no safety at Brisker, I don't think, or Hill will be up there. But they could go safety. They could go second round. They could totally show up this defense, and then be scary for years to come. But I think with that third pick, they're gonna go definitely gonna go cornerback, and then they're going to shore it up with Lloyd and Kalaftis. The option is, if they don't go Kalaftis, to go Lloyd and Dean and really, really fuck shit up. All right? I'm going to leave you on that one, man. We did 30 minutes of the for part one. Part two is going to come out tomorrow, the day after you see this or whatever. Or if you see this in the future and the two of them are already out, watch them back to back. All right? But we're gonna do 16 to 32, and have some more drafts coming out after that. We're gonna have the combine draft after the combine, and while the combine is going on, we're gonna have a draft with trades and stuff and things going on. But this is pretty much what I believe is going to take place from 1 to 16 if there is no trades, and if everybody pick where they have to pick, and then you tell me how you feel, and you tell me what you think about that, all right? I'm your host of the Morning Beer Podcast, Devereaux Davis. Peace.